right, a little behind the scene. We're here at Cosign. Got our men's here. Thank you for the hospitality.
Of course.
Got Mr. Slim.
What's up?
We got Mr. Rob The Insurer.
What's up?
What we about to do today, man?
Do a couple podcasts, man. That's some nice equipment you got there, Droso.
Just a little
Like
bit.
that, man.
All right. Cool.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Get a picture of y'all before y'all start.
All right. Oh yeah, we gotta get a photo after. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, nice. There's the other angle of it too.
Test. You hear me, right? That's all that matters. Let's scoot this a little bit more. Am I still in frame here?
Yeah. On that one?
Yeah, you said
All right, cool.
You have like this much headspace on yours. And there's a lot more.
But we're both in it?
Yeah, we're both in it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Nice. You get a picture.
I'll get a picture, right? Right, 3, 2, 1, go. Go.
Appreciate it, son. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
PVO.
Positive vibes only.
This is the PVO show.
Today is Saturday, August 12th. It's hot. I'm sweating. And today we're going to have a cool podcast. I just finished doing my next guest podcast, which you'll hear about it. And right now I'm going to introduce you to my good buddy, Rob, AKA Rob The Insurer.
What's up? How's it going, Droso? Pedro Solano?
Nice to meet you, son. And for anyone that doesn't know about your podcast, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, my podcast started years ago when I decided, after lots of procrastination, to go ahead and get a podcast started. Thank you, Nancy, for telling me to start the fucking podcast, because she's the one who's like, dude, just start your podcast. But I've always... That's the sound I was thinking that was. That's cool, man. So the podcast is about, I believe everybody has a story. And in short, everybody has a story. And I think that it's important that we all communicate our story, because we're all on a path. We all, like you said in our previous conversation, that everybody has talent. Everybody has something they can offer. And I think a lot of us get that in one way or another taught out of us as we grow older as adults. And this podcast is used just to help people to see all these successful stories of people that show that you can overcome things in life and achieve your dreams. And not just that, sometimes the podcast will have just me by myself talking, because I feel that it's important just to put what's in your heart out there, you know?
Nope, wrong one. So let me ask you this. How long have you been doing the podcast for?
Oh, man. I think it's been about 5 years, 4 or 5 years, I think. Something like that.
Because I remember at Sisu, you were telling me about it, because that's when I first originally started this podcast.
Yeah.
And it went on a hiatus. And then you're saying you're going to start yours. So like, funny enough, when I saw you that you're still doing it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring back mine, because it just reminded me, like, I really enjoyed it. I like hunting new guests. I like the conversations, and not only that, but like the stories of like someone's journey and how did they get there. And I usually just like to leave myself in the backseat, because I'm more fascinated about how did you get here? Where did you come from? What happened through all in between? So what's your background, if you don't mind me asking?
My background is born and raised in Oak Cliff. My parents are from Oak Cliff. My parents, you mentioned earlier, first generation. I'm not sure the exact definition of those things, but my dad's family, his grandpa is from Russia, Germany. So he fled there, went to New York. My mom's family is from Guanajuato, Mexico, and they went from there to here. So I was raised by parents who were about hard work, good values, treating people right.
That immigrant mentality.
Yeah. You know, and it's kind of cool, because in my neighborhood, you know, it's a lot of Hispanic communities, but I'm also able to see the white side of it, because my dad's family is from Europe. But it shows that, you know, America really truly is a melting pot. Yes, a little about my background. So I went to DIS Elementary, and then I I was really smart as a child, as I am now. But remember the ITBS test or the TOS test or whatever that was?
I hated that one.
Yeah. So like in third grade, I scored the highest in the whole school that went to sixth grade. So like I was like, hey, this guy needs to go like to a different school, right? So I went to Montessori school, and then I went to Bishop Dunn, and then I went to UNT, and kind of in between, just I went through all those things, but I kind of just I did enough just to get by because I knew that I was smart enough to just do enough just to get by, even in college. Like I got a degree. On the last exam, I had to get a 70. I got a 70 on the last exam, like to pass college, right? So you mentioned before in a previous conversation we had about being in the 20s and just kind of fucking shit up. Bro, Crunk Rob was in reign supreme in my 20s. So like Slim knows it was just party nation, like all my 20s. And then when I had a kid, when I was 30, that's kind of when I realized, hey man, let's kind of, let's buckle down and let's take care of business. So that's a short summary of where I'm at now, like background.
I kind of envy that. People with kids, it sounds silly, right? But I always, like right now I'm being very selfish, right? Pursuing my goals and dreams and
as you should.
Yeah. But part of me is purposely not pursuing a family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being selfish.
Right.
But when you can pursue with a kid, I always felt like that just brings your motivation to a fucking different level and gear. How much of that is true?
It's so true. It's so true. I've had people say, my mom being the number one saying like your kid saved your life, because I didn't have direction, and Slim can attest to my no direction. He's lived with me like 6-7 years of my life. He knows that my focus really was, I didn't have I always had the talent and the know-how how to do everything, but it's just by putting it together. And as far as the motivation with my child, I tell people all the time, who am I to tell my kid, hey, you got to stay true to your soul. Like whatever you like think you can do. Like if you want to be an artist, he likes art, so it's cool that you're on this podcast, but I'm like, dude, whatever you want, I'm gonna support you, and don't give up and pursue your dreams. And if I don't do that, who am I, So that's huge motivation.
It's kind of like, that lie that everyone grows up, as far as what I see on TV is like, you could be the president of the United States. And it's like, bitch, come on.
Yeah. It's not about being pressed, about pursuing, your purpose.
What I'm saying is like they spoon feed.
Yeah. They spoon feed that shit down.
Spoon feed you, saying that we believe in possibilities, but then as you get older, those same encouragements, they kind of disappear.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, coming from the hood, which we're both from the hood, your family history is really just everybody's trying to survive. Nobody's really trying like, hey, let's go for it, and if they do and bad things happen, it's hard to get up and go again, and for whatever reason, I was just blessed with that mentality. And even though like in my 20s, I was fucking shit up, that hopefully someday something would happen that would help me get everything back right.
Now that you've been doing the podcast for what, 5 years,
6 years,
what's the goal? I feel like you're starting to level up and you're taking things more in a business manner, just based on the conversations.
Yeah. Well, talking about taking more things in the business matter, I just started my own insurance brokerage a couple months ago, right? You talked about the corporate. Thank you. You talked about the corporate, just the feel of it. I had to get out of it, because I think something deep down inside me was like, look, man, it's time to, level up. Right. So me doing that with my own business in insurance, I've been playing that game so long. I know how it works. I'm like, okay, now I can apply this to the podcast, to where it's not going to be just a podcast. Like I enjoy media. I enjoy editing. I enjoy filming. I enjoy photography. I enjoy the whole aspect of it. So really now the next step is to branch off into just doing media projects, whether it be editing, filming, bringing people together, like-minded individuals that are in that sphere. That's the goal, right? And it's not like a specific goal right now, but it's more of, hey, I'm on the right path. I tell people sometimes you got to walk on your path like you're just walking in like on a stroll, right? If you're going to fall on a stroll and you're walking, you're not walking worried, oh, am I going to fall? Because you're going to catch yourself. You'll be all right. And that's how I'm really trying to walk my life right now. And you mentioned earlier we're walking in the hallway the way of living, like you're living through
talking about like life by design.
life by design, but you're
Law of attraction.
law of attraction. Yes, I'm a big believer in that, but you also have to do your part. Is how I look at it too.
No, that's very true. It's kind of like saying, you know, you're sitting on the couch, like I'm gonna be a rapper, right? Or whatever the case, and then you tell everyone I'm gonna be a rapper, but you ain't out there rapping.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You're not gonna be a rapper if you just rapping in your couch.
Right. Exactly. And I feel that my natural gifts are being able to communicate with people, being able to listen to people and understand, and also know how to pull people together. And I think that's a talent in itself. So I definitely want to use that to my maximum advantages if I can. And lately I've been discovering that I have a little bit of talent with art. So I really kind of want to see how far I can go with all these things, you know, now that I really am my own boss and there's nobody that can tell me what to do or what not to do, you know?
See, and that's kind of like I was telling you earlier when I did your podcast, that like, as you go into your path, it's kind of like what I was describing myself, you're going to find yourself doing other things that you didn't envision.
Right.
But because you're in the journey, these things happen where you acquire these other skill sets, or you just ended up going on other directions along the way, but you picked up some knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You started to like, you know, supplement it into putting it into work. And next thing you know, you're like, wait, I enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about when I got into YouTube and editing. I didn't realize I like editing.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. It's a whole nother world, man. It's like, I'm a big fan of the God of War video game. And right now I'm replaying part 4 because part 5 is coming back out here it's coming out in the next couple months. But on the way on to the top of this mountain, Kratos has to collect all these things on the way with his kid. And it's like, he can't get to that top of the mountain without going through all these challenges, you know, and collecting all these things that can help him. He don't know what he's going to collect, but you know, if he keeps going that way, he's going to collect the right shit, you know?
Well, like, so this is how I see success. People ask me like, hey, why weren't you discouraged being an artist growing up? And when you first realize a couple of things, it starts to make sense. But my biggest theory on like how success happens, it's a couple of things, right? First of all, you have to be skillful at whatever you're doing, right? That's one of them. 2 is consistency, right? Mm-hmm. That's the biggest one. But third one is timing.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
When I tell you it's everything, I can promise you it is, because when the person that didn't make it is a person who threw in the towel too early, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've almost been in that situation where I was about to call it and I was like, fuck no. And next thing you know, I get that weird 6-figure gig with the surgeon where I'm making podcasts and all this stuff. And I remember I was struggling through finances because not every day wants to buy art. And I remember my family like, just get a job. And I was like, if I get a job, I'll miss my opportunity. And sure enough, 3 days later.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say is like, sometimes whoever doesn't make it, it's not that they didn't have the skill sets or the talent to do it, is that the opportunity hasn't arrived.
Yeah.
And they're comparing themselves to other peers that already had their moments. But thing is, if you compare yourself to others, you might sabotage your own future.
Right. Right. And there's 8 billion fucking people in this world. It don't make no sense trying to compare yourself to nobody else, you know? Yeah. You got to focus on your shit, you know, and especially in this day and age where everybody's trying to share. Oh man, you got to drop that bomb on them, baby. This day and age where everybody's trying to post, you know, any kind of small success is like, oh, this is a success. No, it's not about that. It's about the success is being on your path. You're never done.
Now let me add another element. If whoever wants to apply this to life, this is the one thing I can promise you. If you go in to whatever direction for the money, you're not going to achieve the success you want.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I was doing this shit for free.
Yeah.
I've been doing art forever. And I used to give my paintings away in high school.
Yeah.
People were like, oh yeah, cool. And now are like, I'm selling my shit for thousands. And it's like, when you can like realize that it's not about the money, it's about the passion, the money will come. But if you chase the dollar, it's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Anyone that's somebody, whether they're acting, music, it was always about the craft. So I always tell people, if you're about something, don't let it be about the money, because that's going to water down
you won't feel that true gratification when you achieve those milestones. Yeah. Yeah. It can't be about the money at all, man. Yeah.
This is it. If you don't have passion to whatever you're doing, you're not going to get far. And eventually you're going to peak and you're going to stay there. Right. And for me, I always believe never think you know everything and never cap yourself off. No cap.
No cap.
But what I'm trying to say is like, if you can remind yourself of what your goal is and you just stay, I promise you, everything's going to fall in place. You're going to have opportunities you never thought of. You're going to have moments in life where you realize, damn, I'm so glad I fucking did this.
Yeah.
Because I went through this journey where everyone thought this is not possible. This is not perceivable. And then you get there and everyone's like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
that's good, man. That's that real shit right there.
no,
you know?
because like I said, society likes to say you should go to school, get a degree, get a nice house, get a nice family and call it a day. And I know of a lot of people, even through past relationships where my ex-girlfriends were like, this is bullshit. I got there, got the degree, got there, and I'm sitting next to fucking Karen now. It's like, bitching and complaining. And, you know, but what I'm saying is like, just because so it's also a generation. I think with the internet, it just opened the eyes like, okay, what else is possible? Right. Versus like, all right, we didn't really have much other than TV and neighbors and parents are like, okay, so he's an accountant. He's a mailman. All right, cool. I guess I got to pick one of these roads. Right. But now it's like today's age, kid, hey, you want to be a content creator?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It's possible.
And that's the thing. It's like when I said during the pandemic, it made me double down. I need to make this shit pop off because not every pandemic I'm going to have a fucking contract to do the Lorenzo. You know, it's like, I want to be able to self-sustain even in the worst situation where I can't even leave my own house.
Right.
And that's why I'm so invested in this because it's not only bring me joy and stuff, but it's like, it's also a way of security.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you betting on yourself, you know, whatever you produce is it's going to bring in the money or to be able to provide for you to be able to live.
So let me ask you this. You said you're getting into Adobe. Are you scared or excited?
I'm excited, man. I mean, I told you, I learned Final Cut Pro on my own, just working through it. And I learned by doing. Today, I took my first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, right?
Nice.
And there were 3 moves we learned. And I know the kind of mind that I have. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to do Jiu-Jitsu is because I learned by doing and feeling, dude, man, like getting these moves down, I'm like, all right, like you do it and you learn, you know, you mess up, you learn. That's all editing is. You know, you mess up, you learn. It's art. You know, I tell my kid when he messes up on a drawing, mess up. I'm like, dude, it's not a mess up, just making it into something else, you know?
Even in the mess up, you can have like what I call a happy accident. Discover something you weren't supposed to, but then you're like, oh shit, use this now. And that's the thing. It's like trial and error, process, and then process elimination. Next thing you know, you develop these skill sets and you add more tools to the toolbox.
Exactly. You know, this great man, Bob Ross once said, I think it's Bob Ross. He's like, you know, it's not mistakes, man. They're just butterflies. they're birds or they're clouds.
Shout out to Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, man, a real one.
And so let me ask you this. Doing this whole journey, have you always had people or have you had anyone question why you're doing this or ask you why you do this?
Ask me why I do the pod. Like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you know, I've gotten really good feedback on it, man. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback on the podcast. I've been grateful that I haven't had any negative criticism. The only things I've had has just been positive, man. I've even had 2 or 3 people tell me that, you know, listening to my podcast, like saved their life because they wanted to commit suicide, you know, like have someone say, hey, let's meet for coffee. And I'm thinking, I'm just meeting them for coffee. Like, hey man, like, thanks for your podcast. And I don't do this for money. I don't get paid to do the podcast. I do it because it's what my soul tells me to do. And like to hear someone say that, I mean, shoot, the podcast is a success in my mind already. You know, that's not my goal. Oh, the podcast. I'm like, no, my goal is like pursuing my purpose, you know? So I've had good feedback.
Because you're not measuring your success on what the standard of everyone is. Like, no, you're measuring like, are you happy?
Yeah.
Does this fulfill you?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not about the money, guys. It's about the passion, the fulfillment, living your truth basically, because guess what? You now know you saved someone's life. And once, like I call them happy accidents, right?
Right. I mean, it wasn't planned, but yeah, it's just a beautiful thing to to hear and to know, so, and, part of pursuing your purpose is, I've gone through my many times in life where shit, I mean, fucking, it's shit, pandemic, going during the pandemic, let's put it like this. I put myself in a position where I thought that, okay, this is the way my life is supposed to go, right? Little did I know that, oh shit, it's not supposed to go this way, right? So to start over again during a pandemic and to still continue to even slowly continue to do the podcast, but it's still a matter of doing it. When you're in those times, when you're in the podcast, you don't feel like you're yourself, but you're still doing the podcast, right? All the way to now where today, dude, I was so excited for this podcast because I haven't felt like myself as I do now, like in a few years, right? So it's inspiring for myself and the voice that I speak to, or the voice that speaks to me inside of me, to say, hey man, look motherfucker, like you're here now, right? Now let's make sure that we hold true to the path this time and don't divert thinking that it's going away you're supposed to think you're supposed to go, staying on the path. So yeah, dude.
I always tell people this, that you can't expect someone to save you from your own life. So you have to be your own hero in your own movie.
Take responsibility. Take responsibility, man. I ain't no victim.
If you don't take accountability, you'll never learn.
Accountability. That's it right there.
Exactly. No, I was that guy.
Ownership. Oh, you didn't take accountability?
Oh no, dude.
Oh,
Everyone and their mom's fault.
Oh,
bro.
Damn, Pedro. Shit. That's all good though, man.
But like I said, my 20s was, like I said, I threw my 20s away. But that's when I had to start learning about accountability, because I was like, okay, I can't live this way. I can't be doing the same shit. That's the definition of crazy, doing the same shit, expecting a different result.
Right.
So once I started owning my shit, shit got easy.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Less clutter, man. You can get all the other bullshit out of there.
Yeah, because it's like, are you going to be who you want to be? Or are you going to build this facade of a person that you think should be? And so, you're not even fucking being you.
Right, bro. And that corporate shit would do that to you, man. I was on the podcast, not even talking like myself, afraid to say words and shit. Now I'm like, I could say whatever I want and nobody could do it. Nobody can fire me for saying stuff or, being myself on social media.
Getting canceled.
I don't give a fuck about getting canceled, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. Now that you're doing this and you're getting to editing, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's like your 5-year plan? Do you have one?
No 5-year plan, but if I'm just looking at my vision, I'll be doing once a month, I'll be doing events with creators where like-minded individuals come together, and it just, that's going to be an event on its own. And editing, dude, I love sports, and I have connections with high school football programs all over the state. So why not invest in myself and, film highlights? I love creating a story through sports, because sports to me relate to life in so many ways. Like in the game within itself is
when the chips are down.
Just with everything, man. Because I mean, prime example. Look at the damn star on my head. Cowboys ain't won a Super Bowl since 1997, 1996. I was 10 years old, right? So like, imagine the day I make the highlight video of when we finally win the Super Bowl again. It's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna be a life story saying, look, we sucked for 30 years and we ain't won a Super Bowl, but we just stayed at it and we finally won one.
But it's easy to believe because at the same time, it's like we do have the resources to build a good team, and we have won multiples back-to-backs as well. So it's not like it was too far. It wasn't like, who was it, like the Browns or something that just never won?
A couple teams have never won, man. But yeah, we've always had the talent. But yeah, that's the question, man. It's just to be in my passion, be further in my passion. Like imagine right now, this is today, in 5 years, I want to be like the depth of in my media shit. You know what I mean? And my business being successful. In 5 years, let's see. So 36, I want my insurance business to be worth more than $500,000. That's a goal I've already set for myself, because in 10 years, I want that shit to be worth over $1 million,
Do you write this down? Do you see it every day?
I wrote it down. That's one thing I have.
You see it every day.
I don't see it every day, but
you put it where you can see it every day.
That won't be a problem, because I thanks to the homie Nancy, I've become a big fan of sticky notes all over the apartment. So that'll be a sticky note that'll go somewhere and I'll see it every day.
You have to, because like I have I have like multiple whiteboards just spread out throughout the house, and I'll just stumble into it just to remind me, like, you got this goal
Mhm.
achieved, or don't forget about, just the goals, man. And because it's so easy to forget, you'll get a phone call and your mind's occupied on some other shit. But these little reminders, fuck.
Yeah.
Back to it.
Your mind is what you are, what you consume, So those whiteboards are beautiful, man. I got one in the room, but you make me want to get some more now throughout the apartment.
Ones.
Yeah.
The little ones.
I do, but I'm better at listing. I feel like there's a sense of getting it done and just tearing it and throwing it away that makes it feel like
That's another good way to do it.
I do all of them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want to see like, what was that again? And it's like, oh, or sometimes the sticky note doesn't get sticky and it falls off.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Seriously. But that's always good. Like always have a reminder. And like, when that does happen, you're going to be happy that you stuck through, because what you're doing now is you're building the foundation for basically the rest of your life. And like I said earlier, we're kind of, because we're the same age, we're in our last hurrah as far as our prime run, right?
That's what you say. I already told you earlier. We're just getting started, baby.
I know we're getting started, but what I'm saying is like,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Like you're still considered
the young, quote unquote young. Yeah.
We're there.
Hey, but Pedro, black don't crack, baby. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is that like, I want to know that I did everything that I said I wanted to do, and just only with regrets. And because then let's say something happens 10 years from now, like, oh, my fucking back, my head, whatever the fuck, you blew out your shoulder because of jujitsu.
Oh shit.
You're like, fuck, I didn't get to do what I want to do. It's like, this is the time when you're the most healthy, the most active.
Yes.
To execute.
No better time than now, baby.
Yeah, man. I always tell people I treat every day like a Monday. I don't see Fridays as Fridays. I didn't even know
every
Saturday.
day is the day. Every day is the day.
Because if people like in corporate world get so like used to like fucking like foaming at the mouth for Friday, like, oh my God, I can't wait till 5 o'clock. It's
right.
And it's like, for what? Like you're gonna go hang out with a bunch of like toxic people, do happy hour, get drunk, waste money you shouldn't waste, and then you ruin the next day because you slept half the day. And next thing you know, you don't want to do shit because you gotta go to the store for Sunday and do family shit. Next thing you know, it's Monday and it's repetitive cycle.
Right.
And next thing you know, 5 years go by and it's like, God damn, I'm overweight. I'm fucking out of shape.
I wish I would have done something for myself.
Anything. I'm still getting paid the same bullshit, even though Karen got promoted. It's like, if you don't live every day to seize a moment, it's like you're gonna let life like. What's funny is like everybody like just because of what I do for a living thinks I'm the most social guy, but I'm the so opposite of that. I always tell people like you won't see me out unless I'm doing a gig. I'm getting paid for it because I'm a madman in the lab that's just creating because I already know what it is to lose time. I've lost time, physically lost time. So I already know what it's like to watch your peers move on while you're fucking stand still. And you're like, God damn it. That's why when I hit the ground running, I don't stop because I know that's why I walked away from that 6-figure job. I was like, I'm sorry, my time matters. Yeah. And I want to get to a point I told myself I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 40 and I really fucking believe it.
You got to, man.
It's the foundation's already there. I just got to be consistent. And that's what it is. Consistency.
One day at a time,
consistency. Man. Because if you don't remain consistent, it's like building momentum, but not staying on top of it. And then you lose momentum.
Right.
But to get momentum started in the beginning is a motherfucker.
Yeah. And you can't fake momentum. You gotta really show respect to it in order to get that real shit going. Like you said, you're not just remaining stagnant.
Man. So we're coming close to the 30-minute mark.
All right.
Kind of like what you did. I always tell people, what is your one standout message that you have to somebody that's aspiring to be a creator or just someone that's just trying to pursue what makes them happy? What will your message be to them?
Listen to your soul, because your soul will tell you, like when you wake up and you're going through your day, everybody is an individual and everybody will know whether they're listening to their soul or not. Now, what they'll tell somebody else may be different, but everybody else can answer that question for themselves and listen to your soul. If your soul ain't happy, you ain't doing the right shit.
Okay. So as we're wrapping up, is there anything that you want people to find you, your social platforms, your handles?
So on Instagram, just do Robert C. Broadner and you'll find me. You type in Rob The Insurer, you'll find me because I've hashtagged that thing so many damn times. Yeah, that's where you find me, Robert C. Broadnate. That's the only one there is, I think, in the whole world.
What about? Did you start a YouTube channel?
I haven't started a YouTube channel yet. Oh no, I have. You know what I have? You know, I don't know the YouTube name, but if you look up One's Rising Podcast, you'll find the podcast.
Okay. Once I get the info, I'll put the link down below. Make sure to follow this guy because he needs to know podcasts exist.
I know
and YouTube as well.
Joe's been educating me on how important YouTube is, man. So we're gonna get there, baby.
More than half the demo.
We're gonna get there. We're getting there.
Okay, guys. So make sure you follow him. Follow social handles. You can find this on Spotify, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, thanks for coming on, dude. Finally, glad.
My pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
Got to do this, and
you're a good communicator.
And for anyone else, man, follow your dreams. Fuck everyone. We're out.
PVO.
Positive vibes only.
This is the PVO show.
Podcast, man. So it feels good to be on. I like it.
So good. Literally, you've been so many notes that I already think of when I started my business. Literally the same thought process entirely what you were saying about just fuck everybody, just do you. Time is a currency. That's the best. That's the currency that you fucking need to do everything. And so.
Hold on a little. So who is this, by the way? Nancy. We'll be real. Tell us what you're saying.
Hi. I don't want to. No. I wasn't on camera.
You're on camera now. You were too
I'm a behind the scenes kind of person.
Okay. Well, did you enjoy this?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I love hanging out with creative people, and this podcast was pretty dope. Do I have to sign like an NDA or is that?
No.